Hi, I'm Jim Gary, and welcome to Penelope's Workshop. I spent much of the past week installing new fuel injectors, a new fuel pressure regulator, and cleaning and reinstalling the fuel rail and the lower intake manifold in general. Please remember, I'm a biologist, I'm not a mechanic, so please consult a professional prior to taking on any project like this. And as always, I welcome any comments or suggestions you may have, and look for links to my other videos in the description below. And I'm getting close to 500 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, please like and subscribe. Help me reach that goal. Now, let's get on with that video. I've got the lower part of the intake manifold on the bench here, so I'm going to start getting it cleaned up and ready to put in. I'm going to vacuum this out just to get some of the dirt and grime out before I clean it with degreaser and all that kind of stuff. So I've got the access to the fuel rail blocked, one here and one here, so keep stuff out. But I want to clean this whole thing up. There's a lot of grease, really thick grease everywhere. And I want to get it kind of cleaned off. So I've got coffee to start. Can't beat an espresso. And I've got an assortment of wire. This is brass, this is bristle, this is steel, and this is bristle to get into the cracks. So I'm using this Formula 88 a friend of mine recommended. So I'll do this for a while. So I got it pretty clean. It's still wet. I'll let it drain and I'll flip it over and let it drain some more. But I just wanted to get all that grit out of there because when I start taking parts apart, I don't want dirt to fall in. And all this is going to have to come off because this is the fuel pressure regulator here. That'll all come off and be replaced. And all these fuel injectors will come off. But I just want it nice and clean and ready to go. So I flipped it upside down. This is the bottom that seats up against the block on either side there and over here. And I got those pretty clean, but I want to go over them again with a wire wheel. Let it dry, come back probably in the morning and go ahead and start swapping parts off it. So I'm just going to vacuum out. I see a little bit of dust I want to get out of the top of this. So I'll just vacuum in there as best I can. And just a little bit of dirt. I've kept it covered the whole time. So I can take this tape off. That's pretty clean, although this is a little grungy. I'll clean that off. There's a piece that goes in there from the old engine, and I cleaned this off while I was power washing the insides of the valve covers and all that. So this just clips in, snaps in like that. I think that's right. So the next thing is to clean up over here and make sure I've got the bottom of the intake manifold fully clean. Paper towel so stuff doesn't get stuck or fall in. So I'm just going to give this a quick rid of anything that might get inside. Okay, that's pretty good. So I've got to go get the gaskets and figure that out. So here's the gaskets. There's a right side. Fits into here, and there's little tabs that fit in the head gasket, I guess. Now I've got to find the part that fits across here and here. So from what I can tell, this is the gasket that goes across the front. And there's three little projections from it that go in these three holes. And then there's a little slot here, and that's supposed to go in this tab here under it. So I got to pull this out, put this in, and then set the gasket there. So that's pretty good. Try this side. Making sure these are identical, and they are. Be really careful when I set this in. Make sure that it seats properly. So that little tab there doesn't want to go in the hole. There, it went in the hole. There. Now it's staying down. Okay, so let's go to this side. Should be the same thing. Slide that under the tab. Make sure that goes into the hole. So I think this is fine. I think this will straighten out. Just the tabs from the head gaskets aren't quite aligned perfectly, but I think the whole thing will settle down. So let's set this in. No sealant or anything. Lining it up with the holes because I can see the bolt holes. So So there's a special sealant I've got to seal the bolts with. Mostly what I'm cleaning off with the wire wheel is this little bit of sealant that they applied here. This is one of those instances where having a variable speed grinder is really handy, and I've had this for quite a while, and I've got it set for 900 RPM. If you're trying to do this at full speed of 3600, it would be really dangerous. But here I can do a nice job of cleaning off the rust, the grime, with much less danger of it flying out of my fingers, although it still can. Here's the 12 bolts, all nice and clean. The manual calls for a part GM12345-382 thread locker, but this cross-references to Permatex blue medium thread locker, which I'll be using here. So it said to apply the thread locker over at least 8 to 9 threads, so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to put these in no particular order, just get them in loosely for now. Okay, so that does it. Now I just have to tighten them all up. Here's the torque pattern for bolting the lower intake manifold to the block I took from the manual. Notice it does an X pattern from the middle outward to each end. I wrote the torque order with a Sharpie right on the manifold to make it easier following the manual. Then I followed that pattern to tighten the bolts to 30 Newton meters for the first round, then again to 40 Newton meters as specified in the manual. So this is the fuel pressure regulator right in here, and here's the replacement. So this is the vacuum hose that comes from the manifold, and then there's appears to be an O-ring in there, and there's a snap ring that holds it in place. You can see one of the 2 bolts that holds this end of the fuel rail to the manifold, and there's another one hidden behind or below the fuel regulator. And I'm going to loosen the hidden one to allow me to move the assembly around a bit more so I can get that vacuum hose off and get a better look at the snap ring. I'm going to put something in that hole. I don't think that's going to happen. Boy, it's tight in there and it's kind of kinked. Oh, it's even got a break in it. So see, that line broke right there when I pushed that down. So this is going to have to come off. Releases. Oh, there's a snap ring inside. I see. That's going to take some doing because the snap ring is where the snap ring pliers go in is back in there. I'd have to somehow rotate that around. But let me try to get this vacuum hose off anyway. Just never know what you're going to run into on these things. There it comes. Okay. So I have to replace that. Look at that. It's broken, really brittle. I'm using some 90-degree snap ring pliers to get at that snap ring. There it comes. Okay, got it. So here it is. Got it worked loose, and it comes right out. So it looks a little bit different. So I found this O-ring sitting way in the back. Looks like there's a little screen in there that I could pull out and clean. So I got the filter loose. So there's the filter right there. And that fits into a little thing, and there looks to be a little tiny O-ring in there. Okay, I'll take that O-ring out. So here's what the manual shows. We've got the snap ring, the sensor, the O-ring backup, a large O-ring, a filter. 5 is supposed to be a filter. And then underneath that should be a small O-ring. But over the years, the sensor arrangement has changed quite a bit. So here's the original snap ring. Here's the original sender or pressure sensor. Here's the O-ring. Here's the filter. And here's the inner O-ring. And what came with the Delphi FP121 fuel pressure regulator was another snap ring regulator, a little bit different, and then a couple of extra clips. I guess these are for different applications. And I'm seeing that on this one there's a little O-ring right on the end, that green one, light green one, and that might be the same as this. From what I can tell, this green O-ring on the new one is the same as this O-ring on the old one, and this smaller O-ring is the same as the small O-ring I pulled out of the other one. So I think what I have to do is take the small O-ring off and then just slide the screen on and then put the O-ring on over it. And then we'll be ready to put it back in. So I think now we're ready. By the way, I found a video where somebody's putting something on a Silverado and it used this clip instead of this clip. So that's what these are for. These are for other applications. So as I've tried to push this in, I can't get this seated far enough in to give me the 1/16 of an inch gap I need to fit the snap ring, because the snap ring is a 1/16 of an inch thick and there's just no room there for it. So I measured from the inside of this lip that would seat up against where it goes to the very bottom of this piece here. And on the new one here, as shown here, that's a little over 12/16 of an inch. But when I measure the same thing on the old one, from the inside of this lip here out to the end is 11/16. So there's a 1/16 of an inch difference. But there is this other kind of attachment, and this just clips on over this here, and it sets down from one edge to the other, and that would hold it in as well. And it is an O-ring seal. So I got that on, and that seems to be just fine. So I'm monkeying around the fuel rail, and I'm just disconnecting the fuel injectors. And it's interesting, the wire connectors are actually labeled. So I've already done these two, so let's look at these two here. So what I did is I shoved this wire here all the way in and just pry under and lift up, and it just pops right off. Here's another one. Just push it all the way in. There, that comes all the way out. Yeah, there. So that's that side out. So I'll go do the other side. So the next thing I've got to do, I think I'm going to take the fuel rail completely off eventually. And that's funny, somebody's been in here because there's a tie wrap right here that's keeping these really close in, so I can't get to these metal clips. So I'm going to cut the tie wrap, mark where it was so I can put it back, another one back, and then I'm going to try my skill at prying these metal pieces up and off, and that seems to be pretty hard to do. Those are just the brackets that hold the fuel injector, which is down here, onto the fuel rail. So I got that tie wrap off, marked where it goes so I don't forget, and there's a clip, a couple of metal clips here. I'll take them off. And it's easy to tell where they goes because there's a couple of metal or a couple of plastic bump outs, so it goes in between those bump outs. Get this side off. Okay, so now these wires are out of the way. So now I have clean access to these metal clips. And apparently with these, if you don't pry them off carefully, you break off the plastic. So I've got a small screwdriver, it's a little tiny one. And I just was putting it under here and prying up and away from that plastic post. There's another one off. So I'll go ahead and get the rest of them off. So now I'm going to undo the fuel rail so I can lift the whole fuel rail up. And that's really hard to do when the engine's in the vehicle, because this part here is the back of the engine, and that would be, in a normal truck, would be where you can't really reach it because it's all the way up against the firewall. But in my motorhome, it's pretty easy to reach because it's under a cover between the two front seats. So there's a bolt here, and there's more bolts. There's a bolt here, there's another bolt here, and then there's a bolt here. I think that's it, so I'm going to go ahead and pull those bolts off. Pressure regulator that we just put on, 5/16, I believe. Quite the bolt. So my understanding is this whole fuel rail with all the injectors should just pop out. I used a couple of plastic pry bars to help loosen those injectors. There. So there's the fuel rail off with all the fuel injectors. I'm going to go ahead and vacuum this. I don't want to get anything down those holes. Some, I believe, left O-rings inside. Yeah, this one did. And I see that O-ring right there. Let me grab it. Pop that back on there. But these are really brittle. Okay, so these are what caused my engine to blow up. One of these was leaking. I believe it was this one right here. So now I'm cleaning out the ports where the fuel injectors go using this battery cleaning brush and also a vacuum cleaner to catch any dirt. I don't want any dirt going into the engine. So now I'm cleaning out the ports where the top end of the injectors fit into the fuel rail using a bristle brush that's mounted on a drill. And then I'm rinsing it with water followed by a thorough drying with compressed air. I forgot to turn the camera on when I put in the new injectors, but it was real simple. I just put some clean oil on the O-rings and then just pushed each of them into their ports on the fuel rail. Nothing hard at all. Fitting all 8 injectors into their respective manifold ports at the same time was a bit tricky. I oiled the O-rings and made sure each injector went into its respective manifold port. And I'd seen a video where someone had not made sure their injectors were inserted evenly in all the ports, and they had some misfiring. And the guy had to take his manifold off and start all over again to adjust them evenly. So in my case, being aware of that, I spent quite a bit of time ensuring that they were all evenly installed. I first made sure that the fuel rail was seated right up against the manifold, and then I went around looking at each injector to see how it fit into the manifold from above. In some cases, I could see the O-ring wasn't all the way in the port, and if I looked at that same injector underneath the manifold, I could see that the tip was recessed in the port and not protruding below it. So it turned out with these injectors that the bottom tip of the injector needed to be about 1/4 of an inch or so below the manifold port. So it took a few rounds of adjustments to get it all correct, but I finally got it as good as I could. There are 2 odd-shaped bolts that attach the rail to central manifold brackets that are partially plastic. The most forward bolt is a multi-part with a stud that holds the rail to the manifold, and it's torqued to 25 Newton meters. And then there's a top nut that goes on there that holds a sensor clamp, as you can see. The central bolts are torqued to just 10 Newton meters, which makes sense because they bear down on a plastic part. Down by the fuel pressure regulator, I just hand tighten those because I still haven't gotten the vacuum tubing I need to connect the regulator to the manifold, so I'll torque those down later. After all that, I put the tape back over the manifold to protect it, since I won't be able to put the upper manifold back in until I get some parts that are on order. And finally, the last thing I did this week was to reconnect the wiring harness to all the fuel injectors. I just slid the harness plug down over each injector fitting and made sure the wire latch was in the right place. Pretty easy. So that about wraps up this video. We had a very stormy and rainy week here in Tampa, which limited my ability to film since rain makes so much noise on my metal shop roof. I had to overdub quite a bit of the dialogue, so if you notice some odd gaps in that dialogue, you can blame the rain. In the coming week or so, I'll be reinstalling the upper intake manifold and other related items. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Similar videos of mine are linked in the description below. Bye.